Hey folks, Professor Finn here, and today we're going to continue our study of pathology by going into the next chapter in the Pathology and Microbiology for Mortuary Science students by Mullins. First of all, of course, like, share, subscribe, share this with a friend, and get your books open and let's start talking about diseases of the integument. So, disorders of the integument. They are common and range from discolorations of cosmetic concern to life-threatening malignant melanomas, and they may affect just the skin or present a more serious systemic disorder. First up, we have acne. Blackheads, whiteheads, and pimples on the skin. This can affect an individual throughout their lifetime, and it's common on face, but can occur on the neck, chest, back, shoulders, scalp, and extremities, virtually anywhere on the skin. So typical lesions involved with acne include comedo, which are sebaceous follicles plugged with sebum, dead cells, hairs, and bacteria. A comedo in an open pore is called a blackhead, and a comedo under the skin is called a whitehead. A papule, which is a small solid lesion slightly elevated above the surface of the skin. A pustule, which is a dome-shaped lesion containing pus consisting of white blood cells, dead skin cells, and bacteria. A macule, which is a temporary red spot left by a healed acne lesion. Nodules, which are solid, dome-shaped inflammatory lesions that extend deep into the skin and cause scarring. Cysts, which are sac-like lesions consisting of semi-liquid material which contain white blood cells, dead cells, and bacteria. These are larger than pustules and extend deeper into the skin. These are painful and usually result in scarring. So what are causes of acne? This starts typically around the age of 10 to 13 and continues for 5 to 10 years. Men are more likely to have severe long-term acne, and women are more likely to have acne as a result of cosmetics and intermittent acne due to menstrual cycles. Complications from acne really just is permanent scarring. Next up, we have abscesses, a localized collection of pus that is walled off by a membrane formed by the body's immune system cells, specifically macrophages, in any body part. Causes of abscesses include an invasion of pyogenic or pus-forming bacteria or any other pathogen. Staphylococcus aureus is common. Abscesses can also result of wounds that tear skin, and they are more common in impaling and penetrating type injuries. Signs and symptoms of abscesses include disruption of a tissue's ability to function due to inflammation. Complications, you can get sepsis as a result of an abscess if the body is unable to fight the bacteria once it enters the bloodstream. So syphilis, we will talk more about syphilis and microbiology when we discuss the syphilis causative agent. Skin lesions signal the presence of this disease. So at the first stage, it is cankers, a hard primary ulcer due to syphilis infection appearing approximately 2 to 3 weeks after infection. Common areas include genitalia, mouth, and anus. The second stage of syphilis is ulcerations of the mucous membranes, particularly the mouth. These can be reddish or copper-colored skin rashes. And finally, you have gumma, which are infectious lesions due to tertiary syphilis consisting of a central necrotic mass surrounded by an inflammatory zone and fibrous deterioration of the tissues. Seborrheic dermatitis, or seborrhea, is the disorder of the sebaceous glands of the scalp, face, and trunk. It is common on the scalp of infants, and it's possibly due to hormones in the uterus. It is also common on the elderly as a result of fungal infection. Once again, we're looking at at-risk populations. The one thing they have in common is usually compromised immune systems. So infants, elderly, individuals with compromised immune systems as a result of HIV or other autoimmune diseases. Causes of seborrheic dermatitis can include sebum, Pityrosporum ovale, which is a fungus, and immune system abnormalities. Signs and symptoms include dandruff as well as cradle cap or severe thick crust over the scalp. Complications. Symptoms are aggravated by humidity, scratching, changes in season, and emotional stress, and they may appear in combination with other systemic disorders. Treatments for seborrheic dermatitis. Scalp may be fragile, so care must be taken when dealing with hair. Psoriasis. Chronic inflammatory skin disease characterized by red thickened areas with silvery scales, most often on the scalp, elbows, knees, and lower back. Psoriasis is idiopathic. We do not know why it happens. It is assumed it's because of an abnormality in the functioning of white blood cells, which trigger an immune response in which the skin sheds prematurely. This shedding is then accompanied by excessive growth of skin. Complications? Well, psoriasis is exacerbated by trauma such as cuts or sunburn, can be activated by infections or certain medications. Flare-ups are common during dry winter months, and psoriasis of the nail may lead to the nail falling off the bed. Treatments for psoriasis include steroids, scalp treatments with coal tar or cortisone, application of synthetic vitamin D, topical retinoid creams, ultraviolet light therapy, anti-cancer drugs, and anti-organ rejection drugs. Eczema is a general term for a variety of inflammatory skin conditions. In infants, this can occur on the forehead, cheeks, forearms, legs, scalp, and neck. And in adults, it can occur on the face, neck, inside of the elbows, knees, and ankles. Signs and symptoms of eczema include dry, red, extremely itchy patches on the skin that may ooze exudate. Skin affected by eczema is easily infected, which can lead to other complications, including sepsis. Vitiligo is an idiopathic disorder in which the melanocytes stop producing pigment and are destroyed. We don't know why this happens, so vitiligo is idiopathic, although autoimmune diseases appear to develop vitiligo. So what are the signs and symptoms? It's usually quite obvious. Loss of pigment results in white, patchy spots on the affected part, which can occur anywhere on the body, and they are more common on areas exposed to greater sunlight. Skin cancer? Well, we have talked about skin cancer before, but let's cover a couple of the hot topics here. Many begin with a mole or a melanocytic nevus. The appearance of new moles, changes in the color of moles, lumpy or painful moles, moles that are crusty, moles that bleed, or moles that ooze fluid can all signal the presence of skin cancer. A red halo around the mole may indicate a precancerous lesion. What are causes of skin cancer? Long-term exposure to ultraviolet rays. Bed sores or decubitus ulcers. These are preventable pressure sores. Persons who are immobile must be repositioned approximately every 2 hours to prevent bed sores from forming. There are 5 stages, and bed sores cannot jump stages. So stage 1 is the initial stage in which the skin is unbroken, red, and superficial. Cause of pressure should be removed, padding added to help cushion area, and reduced pressure. Also, improved nutrition and hydration can help. Stage 2, a partial layer of the skin is injured and a blister is probably present. The wound is cleaned and covered to prevent infection. Once again, you then apply the same things from stage 1. Try to increase nutrition and hydration, reposition, things of that nature. Stage 3, the bed sore extends through all layers of the skin, and now the patient is at a high risk of infection. This requires medical treatment, including antibiotics and pharmaceuticals, to aid in the healing process. It is not likely this is going to go away without some form of medical intervention at this point. And finally, stage 4, the bed sore has reached the underlying muscle and bone. It is necrotic and infected. Surgical removal of necrotic tissue is likely. Aggressive treatment of the infection is necessary to prevent total body sepsis, which can lead to death, and amputation may be required. Stage 5 is an older classification in which the wound is extremely deep, possibly involving organs, and the treatment is the same for stage 4. In practice, you will see a variety of bed sores inevitably throughout your career, and they are very heartbreaking because these are completely preventable. So what are causes of bed sores? Well, the person's weight compresses tissue between the bed or wheelchair and a superficial bone. The compressed tissue receives inadequate blood flow and it becomes necrotic and infected. May also occur from friction by rubbing against bed sheets, casts, or braces. Bed sores begin as a mild pink discoloration at the site of pressure, which resolves with no after effect when the pressure is removed, but can then progress into deep wounds extending into the tissues and internal organs and cause catastrophic health effects. What are the post-mortem conditions associated with diseases of the integument? Well, discolorations. Ultimately, we clear what we can through embalming. If it is something that is on the surface of the skin that is not going to clear a permanent type of discoloration, your only choice really is cosmetic cover-up. So it's vitally important that the embalmer communicate with the funeral director so that the family knows what to expect, especially if these lesions are on visible areas of the body. Dehydration, dryness, and scales, that's usually typically treated with the application of massage cream or stone oil or surface packs of humectant fluid. Lesions, which will require surface embalming, application of either cavity and or phenol packs in order to scorch the tissue and render it less of a risk of infection to the embalmer and the public. Pigmentation or depigmentation, again, this is largely going to be controlled through cosmetic cover-up. And swelling due to inflammation. Anytime there is swelling, you run risk of distribution and swelling problems. So you are looking at stronger than average solutions in those areas so that you do not increase swelling, as well as multi-point or restricted cervical injection. That concludes this lecture. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share this with a friend, and we will see you on the next video.